what's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then welcome to our little corner of the internet. Today we're going to be watching a video titled People Whose Sense of Humor is Unstoppable. What does this mean? I feel like this is gonna be funny. I'm excited. Let's see what this video is about.
They say laughter is the best medicine. And there are some people out there who can brighten even the gloomiest day with their elite sense of humor. Forget dad jokes and childhood pranks. These people have one seriously unstoppable case of the funnies. So just sit back and let the laughter ensue. Working through the holidays can be a drag, but Halloween presents the perfect opportunity to show off your creative talents in front of your colleagues. One DMV employee in the San Diego area made the most of his unfortunate October 31st shift back in 2018 when he showed up as the slowest DMV worker known to man. That's right, Flash the Sloth was in the house.
No way. Okay. We're starting off very strong.
Some say he's still processing his first ticket of the day.
If you haven't seen that scene, you should look up Zootopia the Sloth. It's funny. That's funny.
Government lockdown can be a difficult change for anyone who has their daily routine down to a T, but there are plenty of ways you can avoid falling into a temporary slump. Just as this guy. Experts recommend maintaining some sort of daily ritual while working from home, and if you're a regular subway user, that doesn't necessarily mean sacrificing your beloved morning commute. It's fair to say goldfish don't bring a whole lot to the table when it comes to fun childhood pets. In fact, they're so boring that they're often easily forgotten. In 2017, Samuel Annis was convinced that his sister wouldn't even notice if her pet goldfish went missing, so he replaced them with a pair of baby carrots instead. While the stolen fish chilled out in Samuel's much nicer tank, his sister spent 4 whole days obliviously throwing food into a bowl of aquatic carrots.
No
if you
way.
haven't clocked that, your animals have suddenly...
No. I had a goldfish once. I was at a mall and there was a pet store that was closing and there was one fish left. It was like a little pink goldfish, and I was a child. I was like 13, maybe 12, 11 even. And I called my mom and I was like, "Hey, can I bring a goldfish home?" And he was like, "Sure," because she thought that I was joking. And then I brought the goldfish home.
They turned into vegetables. Perhaps goldfish are about as much as you can handle for now. A fundamental part of having a top-tier sense of humor is the ability to make fun of yourself, no matter what, and this dude certainly has the right idea. I believe the age-old saying is, when life gives you a bald patch, tattoo a tiny lawnmower on your head, right? Or was it something about lemons? I can never quite recall. We might not have the technology to make us live forever just yet, but most people still dream of making it to the ripe old age of 100. Except for this lady, that is.
Well, thank you very much. I hope this is my last.
She might only be 94 this year, but Grandma is sick and tired of this miserable existence, and she's gonna let you know about it.
Aww.
For most of us, funerals are no laughing matter. It's usually a very somber affair. Everyone turns up in black, sings a few hymns, and quietly pays their respects.
I know where this is going.
In 2019, though, one Irishman's funeral became a viral sensation after the proceedings took a rather unexpected turn.
Hello? Hello? Let me get back in here.
Imagine it's actually him and everybody's just like, ah.
Is that police like in here? Let me out. Hello?
As confusion turns to laughter and the bangs and shouts of "let me out" get louder, there's not a dry eye in the house. The wife of this hilarious soul, Ann Bradley, confessed that her late husband, Shay, made the recording in one take over a year before the funeral. Now that's what I call having the last laugh. Jigsaw puzzles might seem like a great way to pass a few spare hours, but it's not until you really get going that you realize how downright difficult they can be. Before you admit defeat and decide to stuff all the pieces back into the box though, one comedic genius has a clever little hack for you. Here's their unique interpretation of a galloping horse puzzle, and they totally nailed it. While we're on the topic of uncanny...
That's a good way to make a puzzle though. You just start off by doing, putting the colors in. Not bad. I really want to buy more puzzles. I don't have many puzzles. I like puzzles.
horse puzzle, and they totally nailed it. While we're on the topic of uncanny resemblances, let's take a moment to admire this absolute masterpiece, shall we? The star of this stunning portrait is Hans the Doberman Pinscher, or should I say Derperman, who was painted by his talented owner as a birthday gift. He looks rather dashing as a decorated admiral, and I like to think this funny-faced feline would be his second in command. If you feel like you need some more Hans in your life, you'll be pleased to know he has his very own Instagram account too. For many people, the novelty of staying in hotels never really wears off. Running down the halls, trying out all the free samples, and of course, returning to your freshly cleaned room to discover what elaborate towel animals have been left for you. If you haven't experienced that last part yourself, it's probably because you haven't had the pleasure of staying in a hotel with such comedic staff. When married couple Mike and Edna holidayed abroad in February 2020, their kids were delighted to find a different towel animal hiding in the room each day. Some even incorporated their shoes and glasses. Now that's some
That's that's a talent. I mean, that's a skill to be able to make all those things out of towels.
killer creativity. Kids love to get
Nice.
creative, but their artistic abilities aren't exactly what they envision in their own head. Whether you're being gifted a macaroni jewelry or a not-so-flattering portrait, the best thing to do is to smile and act as grateful as possible. But one mother took things a step further with this priceless reaction. When she dug up this framed crayon drawing her daughter had made for her a decade earlier, she decided to prove that it was still as accurate as it was back then. Those individual eyelashes, transparent brows, and lathered-on lippy make this quite the pretty picture. On first glance, this probably seems more like the scene of a vicious shark attack than something to be laughed at. Take a closer look and you'll realize that's no ordinary severed foot sticking out of the sand. Yep, turns out this is just one seriously funny amputee who knows exactly how to make light of his situation. Still, I'm not too sure those kids are convinced it's all just a joke.
I love that they're using their abilities to the fullest.
If there's one surefire way to make the week go by faster, it's by making people laugh along the way. That's exactly what one UPS delivery guy has learned to do when he decided to leave hilarious photos of himself as part of his customers' confirmation emails. The best part is that, after his antics were exposed on Reddit, other people living in the same apartment complex started posting their own photos he'd left in their inboxes. Now that's what I call a comedy hero. A little bit of competitive workplace banter can quickly turn into an all-out prank war. And before you know it, you're removing a giant poster of Nicolas Cage's face from above your desk only to discover another, smaller Nicolas Cage poster hiding underneath. You can just tell by the look on her face that this is the final straw. And I'm not sure how you could one-up that cage-on-cage action, though, so perhaps it's time to admit defeat. Art is totally subjective, and it takes a keen creative eye to spot a real masterpiece. I wonder what deeper meaning is hidden in this artwork titled Hole in a Wall by the world-renowned artist Dad. I'm getting certain notes of anger and frustration here. Anyone else? Taking a flight can be stressful enough as it is without having to wonder about finding your luggage among
You could still put that in a museum. I mean, obviously that was taken from a family home or something, but you could put that into a museum and people would be like, what does this mean? That's just kind of how museums work.
anger and frustration here. Anyone else? Taking a flight can be stressful enough as it is without having to wonder about finding your luggage amongst a sea of similar looking cases on the other end. Well, I have one simple solution for you, courtesy of this classy lady. Why not get a giant blown up photo of your own face printed on it instead? No matter how you feel about the holidays, part of the excitement of Christmas Day is the anticipation of gift giving. Resisting the urge to shake or peek at gifts early can be hard when you just want to find out what they could be. Well, this person has taken a unique approach to disguising gifts. Gee, I wonder what it could be. Spoiler alert, it probably isn't a puppy. A global pandemic probably doesn't seem like the right time to be making jokes, but memes might be the only thing keeping us laughing through such a dark time. People have been seen sporting all sorts of makeshift masks, but this guy certainly has the right idea when it comes to some real antivirus protection. With genius minds like this around, we're sure to beat this thing in no time. Speaking of the pandemic, here's a photo of the government's initial measures to prevent the spread of the virus. To be frank, even 3 pieces of tape seems slightly too generous. Perhaps a single band-aid over the gaping void would be a more accurate representation of how we're coping with this catastrophic situation. The pandemic has had a couple of
Okay, this was clearly posted during the pandemic.
positive effects on the environment though, like less pollution. The skies are so clear, in fact, that you can now actually see the Universal logo in the sky. Isn't that beautiful? It's not always doom and gloom when disaster strikes. Just ask the people in the Swedish town of Uppsala, which faced major flooding in 2018. What do you do when the local subway station is suddenly submerged underwater? Turn it into a lazy river, that's what. Apparently, it wasn't long until security moved people on due to concerns that the water might be electrified, which is not so fun.
But I've seen that, like, there's some floods in Spain as well, and I feel like people find a way to make, like, the worst situations kind of good. It's such a weird thing.
We've all been taught to obey the signs in life for our own safety, but this prankster definitely decided to interpret that a little too literally here. Maybe some freak weather caused the crossing sign to tilt that way, or perhaps this street really does operate under a strictly no upright walking policy. We may never know. It's fair to say that most things that happen in cartoons wouldn't quite work out in real life. But that didn't stop these pranksters from trying their best to sneak into the movie theater in an Inspector Gadget-style disguise. Judging by the cashier's face, the whole "one ticket please" tactic didn't work out as planned. Maybe it was the beard that gave it away?
I would give them one ticket. I mean, just for the effort, come on. That's a great disguise.
Still, finding a raincoat that large is pretty impressive, not to mention those balancing skills. Comedy is all about making the best out of every situation, and there are plenty of people out there who have turned their own disabilities into a source of strength and amusement. When 25-year-old Paula Antonini lost her leg in a car accident on New Year's Eve 2014, she swore not to let her prosthetic leg get the better of her. The Brazilian bombshell has now forged a successful career in modeling, and she has a great sense of humor to boot. Check out
I was just about to say she's gorgeous.
the way she rates herself in this photo. Face, 9 out of 10. Chest, 8 out of 10. Legs, 1 out of 2. 1 out of 2. Get it? They may not have even existed a few decades ago, but nowadays it seems like influencers are definitely here to stay. You probably don't know one personally, but they're pretty easy to spot in the wild. You'll usually find them having obnoxious photo shoots in all sorts of picturesque destinations. One of the most popular influencer Instagram posts is the classic emerging from the water like a mermaid pose. But I think it's about time us normal people reclaim it for ourselves. In case you were wondering who else can pull it off, just check out this bearded guy who's totally slaying it at his local beach.
No way.
Oh, to be young and in love. Just look at these two lovebirds and tell me they aren't the most adorable little couple. Wait a minute. I totally meant these two. When this dashing young fellow and his girlfriend went for a wander by the ocean, the view was too picturesque not to snap a cutesy couple's photo. It just so happened that a tatted up biker was also passing by and he fancied a piggyback too. Anyone else think the dude looks happier with the random biker than his actual girlfriend? There are two types of people in the gym. Those who want to draw as much attention to their glistening physiques as possible, and the people who just want to fade into the background. This woman is definitely the former. You might have done a double take, but yes, she is drinking from an empty chocolate sauce bottle. That's one way to confuse the enemy.
For sure.
Instagram can be such a tiresome place when your feed is packed full of the same old cringy influencer poses. I'd much rather see these guys flaunting their luscious locks on the gram than Kendall Jenner, wouldn't you? They aren't the only ones flipping the script. How's this for a flaunty engagement photo, girls? Gym selfies, beach thirst traps, and baby, or should I say beer announcements? The guys at the
Amazing.
gram have those covered too. This dad even took things a step further by recreating his own
Wait, they have they have the same tattoo? Oh no, he drew it on. Okay.
daughter selfies. It's true what they say. Not all
Beautiful.
heroes wear capes. Taxi drivers can be some of the most colorful characters you encounter in your day. But one New York passenger really struck it lucky in 2018 when their driver revealed that he had some big news to share. He'd made the front of the NYC taxi driver's calendar. Here
No
he is,
way.
Mr. December.
No way. That's so cool. I
Take a
love
look
that.
at Mr. July and Mr. August crushing the game too. Vogue would be jealous. Being a parent means being prepared for any disaster life might throw at you.
Do like taxi drivers actually have calendars there? I think that's so cool. I wish we had that here.
And when one parent was told by her kids that there was water coming from the laundry room, she feared the worst. That is, until she went to check out the problem, which they said started in the washer, and found this trail of bottled water instead. These kids are going places, I tell ya. Halloween is the one night of the year where you can dress pretty much however you like without anyone batting an eyelid. And this guy really took that and ran with it with his stellar Stranger Things cosplay. I'd say he's got 11 pretty much nailed. In fact, the resemblance is so uncanny that he could just replace Millie Bobby Brown in the next series. What do you think? Of all the things you'd expect to see happening on a university campus, a brand new building being officially opened by a tortoise is probably not one of them. But check this out. In 2015, Charles Darwin the tortoise unveiled the University of Lincoln's new Joseph Banks Science Laboratories with a little help from British TV presenter Chris Packham.
That's adorable.
By chomping through a ribbon made of rocket and dandelion leaves. Forget the scissors. Tortoises are the way forward. Quarantine can be a rough time for all of us, but if you happen to have your birthday during lockdown, it sucks double hard. Still, you have to make the most out of every bad situation. Like this guy, who threw his own quarantine birthday party. On the plus side, at least you get the whole cake to yourself. Family photo shoots can be a real drag. After all, who really cares about a bunch of forced smiles? Well, this family decided to do things a little differently. Can you guess what's going on here? Apparently, the head of the family just made a dad joke off camera. Now that's what I call a genuine photograph. Horse racing is an age-old sport that's come under fire for being problematic in the past, so isn't it time to come up with something new? Like, I don't know, this maybe? This is a legit inflatable T-Rex race that...
No, because that's awesome. I still want that T-Rex outfit. That would be so much fun. I would wear it every day.
Took place at Emerald Downs Racecourse in Auburn, Washington in 2019, which should totally become an Olympic event if you ask me. Turns out that giant meteor didn't end their race after all. Do you know anyone with an unstoppable sense of humor? And what's the funniest thing that's happened to you recently? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.
That was funny, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that as well. I really enjoyed watching that. Thank you for joining me. Please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.